One thing that motorcycle riding is great for doing, and that's sort of refreshing your mind. You ever notice that? You come back from a trip and you just feel ready to go again. It's like you've centered yourself. Well, obviously, Christian Ensign thinks along those lines as well, because he found himself at a point where he needed to get recentered, needed some off-grid time, so to speak. Then he thought about his dad, Todd Ensign. His dad's an accountant. He also needed to get away from routine, to shake up life and enjoy some adventure. So for his dad's birthday, Christian gifted him a rider safety course. Then he got him a motorcycle, and then he planned a route for the father-son team to ride that would be the ultimate adventure for them. It ended up not going to plan. They would test their riding skills, their stamina, and even their relationship. Mistakes are made, bikes are damaged, stress is high, and at the very end, well, you're going to have to listen to the whole story for that.
Father is the noblest title a man can be given. It is more than a biological role. It signifies a leader, a confidant, a teacher, a hero, and a friend. In May of 2021, I gifted my father a motorcycle safety course. Concealing my desire for a father-son adventure and desperately in need of the open road, I waited with anticipation as to whether the course would re-spark his old passion. It did, and I immediately revealed the plan. This journey would be about us, about father and son, about getting out of the grind of life, to spend time reflecting on life lived and the future, the open road before us. There was no plan to film or produce content, no drones, no GoPros, just us and the prospect of the next 1 to 2 months living on the open road. Our adventure was set and would take us from Colorado, where we would meet up, across the high desert plains of southwest Wyoming, through the dirt roads of the Uintas in northern Utah, through open expanses near craters of the moon, then up the BDR through the heart of Idaho backcountry. From there, west to Washington State or east to Montana, we would decide then. But as in all aspects of life, as Robert Burns puts it, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. This is our story about unfinished business, a father-son motorcycle adventure cut short. But really, this story, told mostly through photos, is a story about a great man and an even better father, with a constant theme. It's never too late and never too often to adventure.
So we're traversing this butte right now, and we are out in the middle of nowhere. Head on. This is an experience.
gets, the more he values what his dad gave him. My dad applied the Frederick Douglass model that it's easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men. These lessons have guided me to and through challenging service as a U.S. Marine, through wild adventures around the world, and in tough business settings. As Einstein says, adversity introduces a man to himself. And as we moved through central Idaho along the Salmon River, we diverted to McCall for needed engine oil. Little did I know that less than 48 hours later, I would have adversity in spades. My dad may not be many things, but in adversity, his character shines. There isn't a better guy to have on your team when the chips are down, and in the coming weeks, he would bail me out not once, but twice. After leaving McCall, my KLR 650 stopped shifting into first gear, which we would later find out was a piece of doohickey left from the previous owner that was in the transmission case. My dad knew that I needed this trip, so he was willing to limp the bike back 2,000 miles to the home in Indiana, while I traded in the XT250 and purchased a brand new KTM 790 to continue my journey. Not only did he give up an entire month on the road so that I could continue, but it wouldn't be the last time he bailed me out.
My dad, the beautiful thing about him is that even though he owns his own company and even though he's under an immense amount of stress, right? And what I wrote in the pitch right is that there is very few people that would drop what they have to go come get you at a moment's notice, not asking questions, and are just there for you. And I think that that's my dad, right? I mean, that's why I want to be around him. From your question a while ago, it's just like you want people like him around because they make you a better human being. And when you're at your worst, right, they're healthy enough to be at their best, and they're able to see through it, and they're able to walk you through it and love you in spite of that. And I think about the amount of people that don't have somebody like that in their life. I feel badly for him. And so, the fact that he would come back and quite literally rescue me meant a lot. And that's why we have unfinished business, is that we've got to go back and we've got to finish the Idaho BDR. I've got to get out in nature, and although I've done a great job, I mean, I've got to reconcile some stuff and become a better father and a better husband and a better leader and more patient with my coworkers and instead of tearing relationships down, build them up. And I think that's why we have unfinished business.
Mark Twain says there's no unhappiness like the misery of sighting land and work again after a cheerful and careless voyage. Returning home feeling defeated and humbled by the experience, it would take months to realize this trip with my dad would change my life. It would give me the courage to make a career move and realize the dream of living on those very dirt roads my dad and I shared together that stoked a passion for the West. Thanks, Dad.